Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Monday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a brewery that I've had a few of their beers before, but I don't know, it's like something, there was something, I don't remember, there was a reason why I never did a review for their stuff, just because maybe just, I don't know, just never really got to it, but I'm going to decide to do a review for these guys finally, just because I think they deserve it, just because they're kind of on my radar when it comes to higher quality breweries, especially out of the state of New York, I would say. They are very, like, all their can art's very, very classy. If you look at their tap room on their website, it's very, very sophisticated and all that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about Evil Twin Brewing Company in New York City. They're out of Brooklyn, I believe. And, of course, you look at this can because we're going to be drinking Dumb Fruit number 2 this afternoon. Their can arts are very, very, like, clean and sophisticated. It's not really much going on them. Oh, I got a sneeze coming. Whoa. So, yeah, the can art for these guys isn't anything to, like, I don't want to say anything to speak home about, just because it's very, very plain and very, I don't want to say bland, but it's just sophisticated. So today we're going to be taking a look at this Fruited Berliner Weisse. Dumb Fruit number 2 is out of their Dumb Fruit line. It's a entire series of Fruited Berliner Weisse ales that they've come out with. I believe they've already gone up to Dumb Fruit number 10, I believe. So we got our hands on number 2 today, so I'm pretty damn excited about this one because it's a 6.6% ABV, first of all, which in my realm it's easily sessionable. But it's a Berliner Weisse style ale with prickly pear, Meyer lemon, raspberry, and raspberry yogurt pretzels. That just sounds kind of extraordinary, not gonna lie. I think that's pretty good. One of the reasons why this one caught my attention so much is because, like, it's a beer made with pretzels in it too, so I'm wondering if there's gonna be, like, a saltiness to it at all. I'm definitely expecting the pretzels to maybe add some kind of, like, biscuity, bready note to it. But with that, like, the berry, raspberry, and lemon, I think are two, like, fruits that go really well together, just because citrus and raspberry, especially so. Raspberry has a decent amount of tartness on its own, and then you add like the citrus with the lemon in there. It's going to add like a little bit of more of a citrus to it. A Meyer lemon, I'm not sure, has like a little bit more of a sweetness to it as well. I'm not sure. So I'm pretty damn excited to see what this thing's all about. And you guys know I'm kind of in love with fruited Berliner Weisses and, like, the pastry sours and the heavily fruited sours right now, just because they're absolutely delicious. So I think it's time for us to crack this guy open and see what this thing's all about. Okay, let's see what we got on the smell with this guy. Oh yeah, definitely getting, like, that lemon citrus up front. Definitely getting, like, there's a sweetness on the nose. It's, like, heavily fruited. I wonder if the yogurt with the yogurt, like, covered pretzels and everything is going to add, like, a creaminess to it, or if they might have added lactose to this one. I'm not sure, to kind of help with that creaminess to it. But I'm expecting this to be thick, creamy, and just I want to taste that pretzel, just because when you have, like, a unique ingredient like that in your beer, I want to taste it. I want to see if it adds a different kind of element to the beer. So without further adu, let's pour this guy. Of course, before I pour it, you guys know my advice when it comes to drinking fruited sours or heavily kind of fruit puree styled Berliner Weisses and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you want to keep that stuff refrigerated at all times, just because there is fruit in there, actual fruit in there. So you want to make sure it stays cold, doesn't ferment in the can more than it has to. And of course, when you take it out of the fridge, always give it a quick roll on the counter. Pretty much big recommendation. You want to get all the puree that's in there kind of moving and suspended and all that kind of stuff. And then what I do is, when I'm bringing it to wherever I'm drinking it from, just store it upside down, because all the sediments sit at the bottom, so you want to kind of move it all around, get the stuff kind of circulated a little bit more. But as I'm pouring this, like I'm about to do now, there's another thing that I would like that is a good kind of idea. So pour a little bit into the glass. Of course, this is pretty thick already, so about to halfway. And then once you pour it a little bit half, give it a quick swirl, get everything else kind of moving in there, and then you have the opportunity to pour the rest in there. And look at that. This looks thick, creamy, and just absolutely delicious. Oh yeah, look at that. Very, very deep red, almost like a purplish red kind of color. I just love that color right there. Okay, the raspberry is coming out like it's almost like a raspberry yogurt kind of smell now, which is very, very interesting, because I was expecting more just like that raspberry and lemon to kind of stay on the nose when you pour it, but it's definitely more of like a sweeter raspberry coming on the nose now, which smells absolutely delicious. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to drink this guy. So cheers, everybody. Happy Monday. Whoa. See, there are beers out there that are so unique and just bring flavors that you really never tried before in a beer that just make you laugh. I just keep on forgetting that there's prickly pear in this one, just because when I see the raspberry and stuff, those are the things that I think are going to be very predominant. But not gonna lie, I'm getting a lot of prickly pear on the flavor when it comes up front. Definitely getting that tartness. I think that's coming through with the raspberry. And the crazy thing is, I am getting like a slight pretzely breadiness in there. I think it comes in more at the end, but it's very, very like, it's definitely has a really nice sweetness up front. It definitely has a really, really creamy mouthfeel to it as well. And overall, this is a fantastic beer. This is pretty damn solid. Holy crap. It's just, prickly pear brings off such a unique flavor. There's definitely is a decent amount of tartness to this from the raspberries. As you can see, like my eyes kind of squint a little bit. But that's like almost like that. I don't want to say prickly pear is like a tropical kind of flavor, because it's not, because it grows in deserts and all that stuff. But it has a very, very nice kind of, it's a sweetness with a bite almost. It's the best way I can describe the flavor of a prickly pear. So the sweetness I'm getting in there, along with that kind of sweetness from the raspberries, a little bit of some of the tartness from the raspberries, and that kind of creamy raspberry yogurt kind of thing. But I think, and also I think that lemon's kind of helping bring in that tartness with the citrus, the lemon juice kind of situation in there. But overall, the balance between sweet and tart and like pretzely is absolutely flawless. I think they balance it out absolutely perfectly. There's really, I'm trying to find a flaw to this one. I don't think I can. I love the tartness. I love the prickly pear and the raspberry in there. The lemon is helping with that kind of natural tartness that brings out with the raspberry. And also with that kind of raspberry yogurt situation in there. It's just overall just creating that nice creamy mouthfeel that this beer is giving off. And holy crap, is it good. So, let's look here on Untappd here. So, if you can't get your hands on this Dumb Fruit number 2 from Evil Twin, of course, at the tap room, I believe they said they have the Dumb Fruit number 8, number 10, and number 9 available at the tap room as well. So if you can't get your hands on this one, if you can't find it, you might be able to find those other Dumb Fruits available within like the New York area, of course. So let's see here. Of course, Untappd always does a cool thing where you can't get your hands on stuff from Evil Twin. They list similar beers to this one, to where you might be able to find a similar kind of beer that may taste like this, may not 100% taste like this, but overall may give you the same, almost pretty similar drinking experience. So let's look here. We got one here from AF Brew called Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. I love the name of that one. It's looks like it's kind of a holiday themed fruited sour. So yeah, so it's just, okay, so it's a tangerine fruited sour. I don't know if I'd really consider that similar to this, just because it's almost all tangerine. And then we got one here from Froth Brewing Co. called Liquid Lollipop Raspberry Banana Dragon, Strawberry Raspberry Banana Dragon Fruit, which sounds pretty damn fantastic. That might be a pretty close, because I think with that kind of dragon fruit banana, the strawberry may kind of bring in some, I don't want to say similar notes to the prickly pear, but overall, because prickly pear is a very, very unique flavor on its own. I don't think it's really hard to imitate it, because when you add dragon fruit puree in there, it's very light. It's definitely not a predominant flavor that you would get on there for sure. So what else we got here? We got one from Brasserie Cantillon, I think it's called. I don't know, this is probably from a different country. It's a lambic. I wouldn't really put a lambic in this kind of a style of a fruited beer Weisse. So, and then we got one here from 903 Brewers called the Stimulus Check Slushy, which aged in blueberry, blackberry, and vanilla, which I think I may have my hands on that one downstairs somewhere. Not 100% sure, so who knows, I might do a review for that one somewhat soon. But yeah, I think that maybe with the berries in there, you'll get that similar kind of raspberry note. But then we got one here from Widowmaker Brewing, which is called the 2021 A Brewer's Odyssey Double Stuffed, which it doesn't tell what kind of things, what kind of berries and stuff they use. So interesting. I wonder if it's kind of like a, I'm guessing with the color of it, there was definitely some like raspberry or blackberry in there, but who knows? I'm leaning more towards this liquid lollipop, this strawberry, raspberry, banana dragon fruit from Froth. And where are they located? Froth Brewing Co. is out of Buffalo, New York. It's a microbrewery out there, so you might be able to have kind of a similar experience with this liquid lollipop. So if anybody wants to try this dumb fruit, if you can't get your hands on any of the dumb fruits, who knows, maybe that liquid lollipop well, or any kind of stuff from the Liquid Lollipop line from Froth Brewing might be able to give you a similar kind of experience. So let's look here back on Untapped and let's see what they show as a description with this beer, along with what the ratings are and all that stuff. So actually, let me take one more swig. Oh yeah, it's good. Let me pour the rest of it that's in there. Definitely has a decent tartness. Holy crap. The lemon and the raspberry definitely making the eye squint on this one. So, let's see. The description says, delicious flavors of prickly pear matched with tart lemon, juicy raspberries, on top with raspberry yogurt pretzels. Yeah, pretty easily descriptive right there. You can kind of get the figure of what it's going to taste like with that. But with, like I said before, it's a 6.6% ABV. And with over 587 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.23 out of 5. Which, yeah, is pretty damn solid. Pretty damn solid. That's definitely a good rating for sure, I would say, on that. And let's see. Ooh. This guy got his in. I'm looking at somebody checked it in. His can kind of, like, bent at the top. So that gave him a kind of crappy experience, I bet. But let's look here. I don't think there's anybody on my friends list who checked this one in. Nope. So we got, let's see what people are rating this one. Let's see. Somebody gave it a 4 out of 5, saying, good one to start the day. Gracias. Awesome. Yep, so that's definitely a good one to start the day with. Let's see. We got a 4 out of 5 here. Purchased at Canals Bottle Shop, which is in Marlton, New Jersey. Let's see. This is the guy that kind of had the thing happen. Okay, so this is what happens. So on the tap, it's showing. He says he gave it a 4.25 out of 5. Says my wife heard a can explode. This is the perpetrator. So damaged is very limited, but drunk. Very tasty, even though it's not fridge cold. So this can kind of burst on him a little bit, but he's still drinking it. So let's see. We got another 4.25 here. We got a 4.5 purchased at halftime. Mamaroneck. I don't know if I'm saying that right, in New York. Mamaroneck? I have no idea. But let's at the halftime over there, they're able to get that. Let's see what else we got. No rating on that. We got another 4 out of 5. We got a 3.75 out of here, purchased from Tavor. Oh, we got another 4.25. We got a 4. Got another 4 from Tavor. Let's see, a 4, 4.25. A full-on 4 out of 5, and just hashtag fruit. And yeah, another 4.25 here saying S ton of fruit. Phil M, thanks, super jammy here. Yeah, I could definitely say that the raspberry flavors are they're pretty close to being to that jammy kind of situation. Let's see, I don't know if I kind of talked about Evil Twin before, but I'll kind of read their about me on their website a little bit. So, Evil Twin Brewing was started up nomadically in 2010 by Jeppy Jarnett, I can't even say his name. In 2012, Jeppy and his family decided to make New York City their home and join the burgeoning local beer scene. In 2016, Jeppy was approached with the opportunity to finally root his ideas and dreams, and Evil Twin Brewing, New York City, was born. At Evil Twin, we wanted to expand upon the traditions of innovation and further with the intimacy of a local neighborhood microbrewery, which more control over the recipes, and we're able to experiment on flavors and kind of perfecting the classic kind of styles that are out there. So that's pretty cool. I really like that they kind of wanted to help out their local community that they thought was lacking on microbrewers back in like 2010 and 2015, up to 2015 up there. So with Evil Twin being born, them kind of creating something pretty special up there with their 2 locations. I know Evil Twin has a pretty big cult following over there, if I do remember. So let's start figuring out what we're going to be doing for ratings on this guy. Let's see here. First off, let's look at can art. Yeah, Evil Twin's can art is usually pretty simplistic. They really don't have a lot of going on. There's usually a white background with one picture on there. But I really like how it just says dumb on the front. That's one of the reasons why I got it, because it's just like having something that says dumb fruit on there. I think it's just pretty funny. And then you kind of have all the white accents on the background, which on the camera here it kind of gets whitewashed a little bit. But overall, yeah, I think with how this can art is kind of like put in on there, when it just says dumb on there, I think this would be a good kind of marketing kind of idea when it comes to having it be at a liquor store or bottle shop, just because if you see this in the cooler and it just says dumb on there, you'd be like, what the hell is this? So I think that was a pretty brilliant idea when it comes to their dumb fruit line of kind of putting just the dumb on there with the fruits that they use, I think is a pretty damn good idea. So I'll give it a 3.75 out of 5 for can art. Of course, you know me, I kind of like a little more detail and stuff in mine, but overall it's still pretty nice. It's very clean, it's very classy, and it kind of helps let their beer speak for itself a little bit. So let's see here. Before I kind of do if I would get it a flight, what is my tartness rating on this one, since this is kind of like a sour ale almost? This one's definitely pretty tart. The lemons are bringing in more of a tartness than I think the raspberries on their own would make. So for tartness, I'd probably give this close, almost a 4 out of 5 for tartness. It's definitely not like to the point where it's unenjoyably tart, but it's getting, there's moments to where it's like your eyes squint, you feel it in your jawline a little bit with your salivating and all that kind of stuff. So overall, actually I'd probably give it back to like, wouldn't say it's a 4, maybe like a 3.5 I would say. But yeah, still there's a pretty good amount of tartness in this one for sure. So, and let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at Evil Twin Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. I love the prickly pear flavor in there. I love the kind of raspberry lemon kind of situation where there's a nice sweetness and there's a nice tartness. And I think that raspberry yogurt and the pretzel kind of thing going on in there works perfectly, because you get that almost pretzely kind of breadiness along with there. It doesn't really give you like a saltiness to it. I don't know if there was salt on the pretzel when they put them in there. But that kind of raspberry yogurt on there, having to kind of enhance that raspberry flavor you get, along with kind of adding like a creamy mouthfeel almost. Yeah, I think they did an absolutely fantastic job on this one. This one is definitely one of the most unique fruited Berliner Weisses I've had, just because I've never had one with prickly pear there before. And now that I've had one in there, I just think it absolutely works when it comes to that flavor and a kind of like a heavy fruited beer. I just think it's something that more breweries need to kind of start using. Prickly pear is one of those ingredients that people need to start playing around with more, because it's kind of underrated in my opinion after trying this. So yeah, I would definitely get another one of these in a flight for sure. I'd probably try to get a 4-pack to bring home by myself. But other than that, let's see. What is my final rating on this guy going to be? I think I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8 out of 10. For being one of the... I'm trying to remember if I've had any of the dumb fruits before this one. I don't think I have. I think I may have had some other like fruited sour kind of inspired kind of stuff from them. I don't know if I think I may have had an IPA or two in between there. I think it was only like 3 beers that I've had from Evil Twin before trying this one. So... yeah, solid 8 out of 10 for me on this one. Absolutely think this is a fantastic fruited Berliner Weiss. If you can get your hands on this dumb fruit number 2 at like a liquor store or bottle shop near you, I think if you're a fan of sour beers, you might like this. If you're a fan of heavily fruited beers, I think you would be a big fan of this one. The prickly pear, the raspberry, and the lemon just add so many elements that just work together, along with just that yogurt pretzel kind of situation. You add that breadiness and creaminess along with it at the end. It just balances out perfectly. So overall, yeah, with it being kind of that lower sessionable ABV, yeah, they did a fantastic job on this one. Absolutely fantastic job. So big shout outs to Evil Twin for coming out with this one. I kind of want to try more from the dumb fruit line now, just because I want to see how each one kind of varies from flavor to flavor. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It will help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live to another review. But let's see here. If you want to possibly get your hands on stuff from Evil Twin, of course, good recommendation is to hit up your local liquor store, bottle shop, see if their distributor carries Evil Twin to where that you can bring it in, because your local bottle shop is always looking to kind of getting some new things in. Always, they don't want to just have the same things on the shelf all the time. So when people are suggesting stuff to them, they'll always keep an eye out for it. Or if you want to see if you can get it delivered to you at your home, where you don't need to go to a bottle shop, always can recommend trying to get yourself onto Tavour. I'm not sure if it varies from state to state where they can deliver to. They're based out of Washington State, so they deliver all over, but there's some places they don't, just because each state has a different kind of laws when it comes to shipping alcohol and that kind of stuff. So my best recommendation is just download the app, and when you're creating an account, they'll make you put your zip code in, and they'll let you know right away if they can deliver it to you, and you'll be able to find some stuff from Evil Twin dropping on Tavour every once in a while. because I know they do. I don't want to say it's like all the time when it comes to drops from Tavour, but they come on there pretty frequently, I would say. There's a good amount coming from Evil Twin going on Tavour. But other than that, last thing I want to talk about really quick before we get the hot here. If you're a craft beer fan, if you love social media like I do, big recommendation is to get yourself onto Untappd. It's a great platform. It's available on Android or iPhone, of course. And if you're somebody like me who likes to sit on their computer all day, you could always use it through the browser as well. It's just a fantastic platform. You can just check in beers, get badges, see what's popular around you, around the country, and all the kind of stuff. It's just a really, really fun platform. You can see people like, let's see. You can see people like me, Kentucky, Duchess, Ian, Kevin's on there, Logan's on there, Lee, not the real Gerard Butler's on there, Bogan's on there. There's a bunch of people on Untappd just checking beers and have a good time. And plus they have different, like when it comes to different coupon codes for different services out there in the craft beer world. So it's just, you'll get a lot of coupon codes for stuff where you can possibly buy glassware, other beer subscription services, you name it, they have it. So it's just, always would recommend getting yourself onto Untappd. Of course, if you want to shoot me a friend request, link to my profile is down in the description below for you guys to check out. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Big shout outs to Evil Twin for coming out this one. It was absolutely delicious. And I'm going to end it like I always end it before we get the holiday here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time, people. Cheers.